Some men speak to be heard, but intelligent men, they speak to be understood. And sometimes they choose not to speak at all, because what you say can reveal your power, but what you refuse to say, that reveals your wisdom. If you've ever wondered why certain men command respect the moment they enter a room, it's not their looks, money, or charm. It's their discernment. These are 7 things a truly intelligent man will never say, and once you hear them, you'll understand why. There's a difference between being smart and being wise. You can read books, get degrees, and master facts, but real intelligence is about discernment, about knowing not just what to say, but what not to say. The most intelligent men move in silence, speak with intention, and choose their words like a sculptor chiseling marble, because they know one careless sentence can shatter respect, kill attraction, or expose deep insecurity. So let's talk about it. 7 things an intelligent man never says, not because he's afraid, but because he's aware. 1. That's just how I am. This phrase is a shield, a lazy excuse used to avoid growth. Intelligent men know they are a work in progress. They don't justify bad habits with identity. If something's hurting people, holding them back, or blocking love, they change it. They evolve. Saying that's just how I am is like putting a full stop where a comma should be. It closes the door on growth, and that's not intelligence. That's stubbornness in disguise. 2. I don't need anybody. Listen, independence is powerful, but isolation isn't strength. Intelligent men understand the value of relationships. They know it takes wisdom to receive, not just to give. Saying, I don't need anyone, isn't strength. It's fear masked in pride. Intelligent men allow themselves to be supported, loved, helped, because needing others doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. 3. She's out of my league. Never. An intelligent man knows that no one is above him, and no one is beneath him. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's alignment. He doesn't pedestalize people or shrink himself. He understands value is more than looks or status. It's about character, energy, connection. So he never says someone's out of his league, because he knows he brings something to the table too. 4. I told you so. Even when he's right, he doesn't rub it in. Why? Because intelligence isn't about winning arguments. It's about preserving peace. An intelligent man doesn't need to humiliate someone to feel powerful. He leads with grace. He lets his actions do the talking. He understands that true strength isn't proven by saying, I told you so. It's proven by showing up when it counts. 5. That's a dumb idea. He knows words can kill creativity. An intelligent man knows how to disagree without degrading. He can challenge someone without crushing them. He uplifts. He doesn't belittle, because behind every dumb idea is a person brave enough to speak, and intelligence respects that. He doesn't mock what he doesn't understand. He listens, evaluates, then responds with thoughtfulness, not ego. 6. Real men don't cry. This one right here is a myth intelligent men refuse to uphold. They've unlearned toxic masculinity. They understand that emotion is not weakness, it's wisdom speaking. Vulnerability is a sign of self-awareness, not failure. A truly intelligent man can stand in a storm and still feel, still process, still cry, because he's not performing masculinity for the world. He's being honest with himself. 7. It's not my fault. Blame is easy, responsibility is hard, but intelligent men don't deflect, they reflect. They own their actions, their outcomes, and their part in the problem. Even when life deals them a bad hand, they don't waste time pointing fingers. They ask, what can I learn? What can I do better next time? Because responsibility is power, and an intelligent man doesn't run from power. He embraces it. That's just how I am. It sounds harmless at first, almost like a declaration of authenticity, But when you really pause and listen, that phrase carries a heavy weight, a weight of resistance, of stagnation, of unchecked ego. Intelligent men never use it because they understand that being human means being fluid, adaptable, and capable of transformation. When a man says, "That's just how I am," he's essentially choosing to plant his feet in the soil of stubbornness. He's saying, "I refuse to evolve." And the truth is, evolution is uncomfortable. Growth demands that you face parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. It asks you to stretch, to unlearn, to shed layers you've outgrown. But that's exactly what intelligent men do. They take feedback seriously. They listen to how their actions impact others. They don't use their personality as a hiding place. They use it as a foundation to build something better. You see, there's a dangerous comfort in repeating patterns. Maybe you're quick to anger, or emotionally unavailable, or you shut down during confrontation. Maybe you've told people, "This is just how I deal with things," but that's not dealing, that's avoiding. Intelligent men don't fear accountability. They welcome it. They understand that the man who constantly shields himself with the phrase, "That's just how I am," is a man at war with change. And if you're at war with change, you're at war with progress. Imagine being in a relationship, and every time your partner tries to address something painful, something that needs adjustment, all they get back is that same wall. "That's just how I am." Eventually, they stop trying. They begin to suppress, they lose hope in being heard, and slowly connection breaks down, not because the issue was too big to solve, but because the other person refused to even try. Intelligent men don't make the people they love beg for empathy. They don't gaslight with identity, they grow, they change behaviors that are destructive, they look inward and ask themselves hard questions even when it hurts. There's also a layer of pride hidden in that phrase. A subtle suggestion that the world should adjust to you rather than you adjusting to life. But reality doesn't work that way. Intelligence means recognizing that the version of you that got you here may not be the version that gets you to the next level. It requires letting go of narratives you've used to protect yourself. It means admitting, "Yes, this is how I've been, but it doesn't have to be how I stay." That one shift in perspective separates emotionally intelligent men from emotionally immature ones. And here's the thing. None of us were born emotionally fluent. We all have wounds. We all carry habits passed down from childhood, from culture, from pain. But intelligent men don't wear those habits like a badge of honor. They dissect them. They ask, "Is this really who I want to be? Or is this just a survival tactic I've outgrown?" They don't use their past to justify their present. They use their awareness to build a better future. Growth isn't about abandoning yourself, it's about refining yourself. A diamond doesn't lose its value when it's cut, it becomes more brilliant. And that's how intelligent men view change, not as an insult, but as an invitation. They know that strength isn't in staying the same, it's in evolving with intention. "I don't need anybody." It's often said with a tone of pride, like a badge of honor, a declaration of strength, but underneath it all, that sentence reveals more fear than power. Intelligent men understand that needing others does not make you weak, it makes you human. To claim total self-sufficiency is not wisdom, it's woundedness disguised as independence. It usually comes from a place of betrayal, disappointment, or a deep-rooted fear of vulnerability. Somewhere along the line, someone hurt them, let them down, or made them feel like they had to go it alone. So now the armor goes on, the heart goes silent, and this phrase becomes a defense mechanism, not a truth. The intelligent man knows better. He knows there's strength in connection, in partnership, in being able to say, "I could do it alone, but I choose not to." He values interdependence, where two whole individuals come together, not out of desperation, but out of mutual respect and shared purpose. He understands that life is richer when shared, that love, support, friendship, these are not signs of weakness, they're signs of alignment. They're signs that he's evolved beyond the illusion of isolation. People who say, I don't need anybody, often end up emotionally starving in their relationships. They build walls so high, even love can't climb over them. They pride themselves on not asking for help, not showing emotion, not depending on anyone. But that self-imposed isolation comes with a heavy cost, loneliness, lack of emotional intimacy, and a constant internal battle between the desire to be seen and the fear of being vulnerable. Intelligent men don't live in that prison. They free themselves by realizing that needing someone doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're real. An intelligent man can call a friend when he's low. He can lean on his partner during tough seasons. He can admit when he's not okay without feeling emasculated. He's not obsessed with appearing unshakable. He's more interested in being authentic, and because of that, he builds deeper connections. People trust him more. They feel safer around him because he's not hiding behind the illusion of independence. He's showing up in his full, honest self. This idea that needing someone is weak is a myth built by those too afraid to be hurt again. But intelligence means facing those fears head on. It means choosing courage over comfort. It means saying, I've been hurt before, yes, but I still believe in connection. I still believe people can show up. It's easy to give up on others and retreat into yourself. But that's survival mode, not leadership. That's defense, not wisdom. When a man says, I don't need anybody, he may win the battle of appearing strong, but he loses the war of emotional fulfillment. Intelligent men choose a different path. They understand that life will humble you. No matter how strong, successful, or self-reliant you think you are, there will come a moment when you'll need someone. And if you've spent your whole life pushing people away, you might find yourself surrounded by silence when you need presence the most. So the intelligent man nurtures his relationships before he needs them. He invests in people, he communicates, he asks for support when necessary, he gives it in return, he doesn't weaponize solitude, he doesn't wear emotional distance as a personality trait. He stands tall in his individuality, but he doesn't pretend that makes him invincible. Because real intelligence isn't about denying your humanity, it's about embracing it fully without shame. She's out of my league. It sounds like humility, but it's actually insecurity in disguise. Intelligent men don't say this, not because they're arrogant, but because they understand the power of self, worth. They don't put others on pedestals while shrinking themselves in the shadows. They don't base their value on superficial metrics like beauty, money, or social status. They know that the most magnetic energy a man can carry is confidence grounded in self-awareness. When a man says a woman is out of his league, he is silently admitting that he doesn't believe he has something valuable to offer beyond what's on the surface. An intelligent man knows that attraction is layered. It's not just about physical appearance. It's about the way you carry yourself, the way you speak life into a conversation, the way you create emotional safety. It's about energy, presence, authenticity. He understands that being in someone's league has less to do with status and more to do with alignment. When a man places someone in a league above his own, he is often projecting his own feelings of inadequacy rather than making an accurate assessment of compatibility. There's a dangerous narrative that tells men they must achieve a certain level of wealth, physicality, or charm before they're worthy of high-quality women. But intelligent men don't subscribe to that. They understand that worthiness isn't earned through perfection. It's claimed through presence. You don't need to look a certain way, own a certain car, or have millions in the bank to be valuable in someone's life. What you need is clarity on who you are, what you bring, and the confidence to stand in it without apology. When you tell yourself someone is out of your league, you are unknowingly feeding the belief that you are not enough. And what you believe you begin to embody. You show up with hesitation, you walk on eggshells, you overcompensate or play small, the energy becomes imbalanced, the woman picks up on it. And not because she's actually better than you, but because you've already told yourself that you are beneath her. Intelligent men never play that mental game. They step into every interaction as equals. Not entitled, but empowered. The truth is, most people are not looking for perfection. They are looking for connection. A man who is grounded, emotionally intelligent, kind, driven, and knows how to hold space. That man is never out of place. Because he brings more to the table than what can be seen. He brings presence, he brings leadership, he brings depth. That kind of energy can't be measured by leagues. It transcends categories and expectations. Intelligent men also understand that the way you view yourself teaches others how to view you. If you believe someone is better than you, they will start to believe it too. If you hold yourself with dignity and quiet strength, they'll feel it. And it will draw them in, not because you're performing, but because your self-perception creates a magnetic field. You become someone people feel compelled to know better. It's not about denying attraction or chemistry. It's about removing the imaginary hierarchy that keeps people separated by fear instead of brought together by authenticity. When you see someone you admire, instead of asking, "Am I good enough for her?" ask, is there alignment in our values, energy, and goals? That's what intelligent men do. They don't chase status, they seek connection. They don't idolize others, they engage with them as equals. They don't shrink in the presence of beauty. They recognize their own and move accordingly. I told you so. It's one of those phrases that feels so tempting in the moment, especially when you've warned someone, predicted the outcome, and now stand in the shadow of truth. But intelligent men resist the urge to gloat. They understand that being right isn't more important than being respectful. When someone is already dealing with disappointment, pain, or failure, throwing "I told you so" into the mix is like pouring salt into a wound. It may offer a fleeting sense of superiority, but it damages trust, closes hearts, and creates emotional distance. Intelligent men are more interested in preserving connection than scoring points. Saying "I told you so" might satisfy the ego, but it doesn't serve the relationship. Whether it's with a partner, a friend, a colleague, or even a child, repeating those words positions you as an adversary rather than an ally. It shifts the dynamic from support to shame, and the moment shame enters a conversation, openness exits. Intelligent men know this. They know that their job isn't to prove they're always right. It's to be someone others feel safe enough to turn to, even after making mistakes. They have the emotional maturity to offer support without conditions. They know how to say, "It's okay, we'll figure it out," instead of "See, you should have listened to me," because their goal isn't to be seen as all-knowing. It's to build trust, to be dependable, to be steady when others are shaky. That kind of strength doesn't need to announce itself with smug comments or condescending remarks. It shows itself quietly through compassion and presence. Intelligent men also understand timing. They know that the aftermath of a mistake is not the time to analyze, critique, or highlight who was right. That moment requires gentleness, patience, and emotional intelligence. There will be time for reflection, time to talk through lessons learned, and time to make better decisions moving forward. But in the moment of disappointment, they prioritize comfort over correction. They understand that silence can be more healing than well-articulated lectures. The man who constantly needs to say, "I told you so," is not just trying to prove a point, he's trying to assert control. He wants to be seen as the authority, the wise one, the person who should have been obeyed. But that need for control often comes from insecurity. The intelligent man doesn't operate from that space. He doesn't need validation through someone else's failure. He already knows his worth, and he doesn't measure it by being proven right. When someone fails or faces the consequences of a choice, what they often remember most isn't what happened, it's how the people around them responded. Did they feel judged, mocked, diminished, or did they feel understood, supported, and encouraged to rise again? Intelligent men choose the latter. They don't just want to be correct. They want to be remembered as someone who stood by others with grace. They also understand that life is humbling. There will be moments when they themselves get it wrong, miss the signs, or ignore advice, and in those moments they will want understanding, not ridicule. So they practice now what they'll need later: kindness over criticism, patience over pride, humility over being right. They know that character is tested not just in how you handle your own setbacks, but in how you respond to someone else's. There is a power in restraint, in holding your tongue when it would be easy to gloat, in choosing empathy when pride is knocking at the door. Intelligent men know that silence in those moments speaks volumes about who they are. So remember this. Being an intelligent man isn't about proving you're always right, standing taller than others, or hiding behind pride. It's about moving through life with quiet strength, emotional discipline, and a deep respect for the power of your words. The man who knows when not to speak is the one who commands the most respect, because his silence isn't empty, it's intentional, thoughtful, and rooted in wisdom. Let your presence be louder than ego, and let your character speak where your words choose not to.